You're watching the SLE-show, our own little version of hell.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy.
Okay, I am here. Where are we at again, Nola? Nula? Nula, where are we at? Real quick.
We're at the silly goose of public house.
Okay, this is an awesome place, by the way. She had to pick it out because for some reason, Coley is not age verified, which is hilarious. Anyway, I'm here with the head pinstress herself, Nula, and you want to say your last name for me one more time because I'm very forgetful. Macmora. Now she owns an erotic service business at Second Life called V&V, which stands for Voices and Visions Luxury Escort Lounge. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct, yes.
Okay, now you... Oh, wow. There's the clock. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear the clock?
I did, I heard it. Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. I guess we can edit that out. You are a human melting pot. Okay, I read your profile, obviously, and you're a mother, a jewelry artist, writer, and volunteer in real life, and as a job, you work as a night flirt phone sex operator. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You've got a nice plate on your hand. A nice plate, like a nice size plate. I mean, in my book, I give you the coolest mom in the world book. Like seriously, you get the award right there. But out of all the aspects Second Life has to offer, what made you decide that the escort business was something you wanted to dig into?
Well, I used to hang out at a place. I met the guy who runs this place at that place. In fact, a little social hangout, quite a big social hangout. And when I first came into the world, just to meet people, socialize. And when I was hanging out there, I noticed some of the women had really nice clothes and shoes. And so I started to ask about how they could afford those kind of things. And that's kind of how I got exposed to virtual prostitution, and I really like the idea of it. I was introduced to a madam of a very high-end courtesan club where we hooked in ball gowns. So nothing was very sleazy about it. It was fun. It was glamorous. And not only was I paid for my time, but the clients there would buy me gowns, shoes, and jewelry. So you could really say that stiletto moodies were what tempted me into the world of escorting. And I went. Go ahead. Sorry.
Stiletto Moody's. Now, explain to me what that is real quick because I don't know what those are. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that the reason why you got into this is for the gowns and the stiletto moodies, but I know Coley's over there laughing her ass off right now, but I have no idea what those are, so you just explain it to me real quick.
They're the Manolo Blahniks of, which probably means nothing to you as well. They're the high-end shoes of Second Life. They're the every girl's dream fantasy sexy shoes, and a lot of girls really dig the shoes in SL.
So your love of shoes got you for starting an escort service in Second Life. That's great. That is a story right there. That is a story in itself. Now, V&V has been open since June of '09, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, and so are there any big plans for your second anniversary? Because that is right around the corner.
I'm really deliberating having a big party, but every time I've thought about it, I never really get to doing a party. We often joke with the clients, we're not a party club, we're a party in your pants. But we do have a new rebuild on the club right now, and we often offer a discount on all services for about a week, and so we'll probably do that again.
Yeah, I've been in there. It's really, really nice. You've done a fabulous job with it. And I don't use fabulous often, that word, so you should feel very up and about with that word. So,
Wow, thank you.
now here's something interesting that, what I think is interesting is that the norm of things when it comes to Second Life, prostitution, and all the different scenarios that you could dip yourself into when it comes to guys wanting their different fantasies fulfilled. Um, I'm sure you and your employees get a wide array of requests from your clients to act out different fantasies, from elf to, huntress to, being the dom. But is it the norm to find clients that want to have incestuous role play?
That's actually one of the most common things that I get. It's a very common call as well on Night Flirt. Um, and I would say that it's because it's taboo, and taboo often plays a big role in what people find to be erotic. And I don't really have a problem with it. We're not allowed to do anything and with anybody role play anybody under 18 in Second Life. That's really the only restriction that we have. So provided that everyone's over 18, I don't have too much of an issue with it. Some girls do, and we like girls to respect their limits. So
Okay, well, that's awesome. I know where to go now because, see, that's a little fantasy that I always had, is not about my mom, of course, but like my friend's mom. When I was 16, I would always think that my friend's mom was so hot, and I would always just have that little fantasy. So now I know where to go if I ever want to play that out in my head. Now, when it comes to domination, which I'm someone who likes to be dominated time and again, I'm sure you get big macho men requesting for your escorts to be dominant so they can take on the submissive role, if you will. That requires just a little bit more than just a few verbal gestures. So do you train your escorts on how to handle these situations, and what scenarios are the norm for your profession?
well, that's a pretty big question. I don't recommend domination as something for a beginning escort, largely because the girls are often, when they're first starting to escort, just learning to be confident, especially in voice. And to be dominant, you need to be very confident and in control for the client to be able to trust you. But it is a very common fantasy. A lot of guys like it because it's really the polar opposite of what happens in life. Guys get to kind of take the day off, so to speak, in the bedroom, whereas most of the time, they're in charge, in the boardroom. So it gives them a little break. And guys, I think also it's a big compliment. I think a lot of guys are interested in what it feels like to be a woman, and a lot of guys. You ask what's common. A lot of guys like to be feminized. A lot of you notice it probably. A lot of females in Second Life aren't necessarily females in real life, and that's because guys do like to explore um, what it's like to be feminine and female. So domination with a strap on, forced bisexuality, not forced. Um, but beyond that, beyond this, the domination kind of stuff that is fairly common. I'd say it's about 80% of what I get asked to do, and that might be just what I attract. Guys also like to just, I'd say, they come and ask for kind of the normal stuff, which I think, well, that's fine to use that SL for that, but SL's, I think, really best suited for outlandish, wild fantasies that you can act out in real life. But yeah, fairly commonly, guys want to do, the usual, blowjob and fuck kind of thing. If I can say that, oh, I hope I can say that. If you can edit that out, and some naughty office fantasies sometimes. Play the naughty boss or secretary, a little naughty role play, teacher, school teacher, that kind of thing, naughty nurse.
Yeah, see, Lonnie, if you're listening to this right now, our editor-in-chief, you can bend me over your desk when we get back to the office in Second Life, okay? That's my fantasy. Now, see, this whole conversation just took my head way out of whack. I gotta get back focused. Gotta get back to focus again. Okay, one thing, though, that has to go through anybody's mind, it goes through my mind at least, is that you would have creepers or stalkers that, you know, that take it personal, that feel like, okay, you gave me a good time, now I'm going to, just bother you all the time. Not just professionally, but like when your escorts are off duty and, just constant bombardment with IMs and stuff like that. Does that ever, happen to your escorts? And if it does, like, how do you prepare them for it? What do you do with your escorts to make sure that they don't have to worry about the creeper stalker issue?
Well, in SL, yeah, I would say that's probably the most common problem that girls have. And so what I like to just tell my clients is, look, I don't interfere. You came to me for professional interchange, and I am your girlfriend. I'm not going to show up and be upset at you with what you're doing in your life and bothering you when you don't come into the club. So, and you don't come looking for me. Our relationship occurred in the time span that you paid me for. And that's a benefit to it too. And I think a lot of clients do come in wanting that. And the ones that don't do need to be set straight that you're not a girlfriend. And it's just a matter of setting some good limits and just letting the guy know, you want to spend time with me, then set up an appointment for a session. Otherwise, I'm not gonna talk to you. And it's fairly easy to ignore people. Mute works, ban works if it has to. And it is one of the things that makes it very safe to do this in here, is that you can decide who you want to talk to and when you want to talk to them.
Yeah, so I guess it makes it a lot easier considering you are in Second Life. You have the option, because I know, if it was real life, it'd be a whole different story. But Second Life, it lets you really just, loosen up. Your escorts, I guess, wouldn't really have to worry so much about being stalked and creeped, as long as they know, what to follow and what to do. But anyway, off topic.